Have you ever stopped to think about how something as simple as a shower could turn deadly? I mean, really think about it. Picture this, it's just after sunrise. The house is quiet. Your elderly parent, maybe your mom, maybe your dad, wakes up like they always do. They slowly walk to the bathroom. Maybe they hold the wall for balance. Maybe they're a little shaky, but they don't want to ask for help. They turn on the water, wait for the steam to rise, and step in. And then they don't come out. You're in the next room, maybe making breakfast, maybe reading the paper, maybe still asleep. You assume everything's fine, because it's just a shower, right? But when you finally knock, and there's no answer, and you open the door to find them crumpled on the floor. It hits you like a wave. This could have been prevented. It sounds dramatic, I know. But you wouldn't believe how many families have lived this exact moment, too late to change anything. Because here's the truth nobody talks about. There's a specific time of day when taking a shower becomes one of the most dangerous things a senior can do. And unless you know when that is, and why, it could be a silent risk waiting in your own home. It's not just about slipping. It's not just about water temperature. It's about how the aging body reacts to heat, hydration, blood pressure, and how tiny missteps in routine can lead to life-altering consequences. And here's the thing, most of the time, it doesn't start with a fall. It starts with love. With independence. With a senior trying to take care of themselves the way they always have. Until one morning, something goes wrong. In this video, I'm going to show you the most dangerous time of day for a senior to take a shower, and explain the science behind why it's so risky. You'll also learn a few simple steps that could keep someone you love from becoming another heartbreaking story. So, stay with me. Don't click away. This isn't fear-mongering, it's awareness. And it might be the most important 7 minutes you spend all week. And hey, if you're someone who truly cares about your aging parents, your grandparents, or even your own well-being as you grow older, comment, "I'm here," below. Let's show the world that protecting our elders isn't just important, it's personal. And be sure to hit that subscribe button for elderly wisdom tips. Every day, we share honest, helpful advice to make aging safer, healthier, and filled with dignity. Now, let's get into it. Because this might just change how you look at your bathroom forever. Let's start with what might surprise you the most. Early morning showers. They seem harmless. Even healthy. We're told to start the day fresh, right? A morning shower gets the blood flowing, wakes you up, and sets the tone. But for seniors, it could be the worst possible time. Let me tell you about Mr. James. He was 75. Lived alone but kept a solid routine. Up by 6, shower by 6:30, toast and tea by 7. Every morning, like clockwork. One day, his daughter called. No answer. She stopped by. The house was quiet. His breakfast untouched. The shower still running. She found him on the bathroom floor. He had collapsed, just minutes after stepping into the steam. And by the time help arrived, it was too late. Now here's the part that stings, there were no warnings. No obvious illness. No signs the night before. Just a regular morning. But here's what most people don't know. In the early hours after waking up, a senior's body is at its most vulnerable. See, while we sleep, our heart rate slows. Our blood pressure drops. That's normal, even healthy. But when an older adult gets out of bed, especially quickly, their body doesn't always catch up fast enough. The circulatory system, already under strain with age, can lag. That means their brain isn't getting the blood and oxygen it needs right away. Now, add a hot shower into the mix. That heat, it causes vasodilation. Fancy word, but it just means your blood vessels open up. It's what gives you that relaxed feeling in the steam. But for an aging body, that sudden expansion can cause an even sharper drop in blood pressure. And when that drop happens too fast, the result can be fainting, dizziness, even cardiac arrest. It's not uncommon. It's not dramatic. It's just science. And for seniors, it's dangerous. The mistake many families make is thinking that a morning shower is part of keeping them active. That it's a good sign, they're up, they're motivated, they're moving. But what they don't see is how internally exhausting that can be for an older body. How the heart and brain struggle to adjust after sleep. That's why one of the simplest, most powerful things you can do is shift the shower time. Late morning. Between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. By that time, the body's had a chance to wake up naturally. Blood pressure has stabilized. There's time to eat, hydrate, and gently ease into movement. It's such a small change, but it can make a huge difference. Let them wake up slowly. Sit up in bed for a few minutes before standing. Give the heart a chance to catch up. Then, when they're steady, fed, and hydrated, that's when it's safest to shower. We don't need to take away their independence, just guide it in a safer direction. Because it's not about fear. It's about being smart. It's about knowing that prevention doesn't always come in a prescription bottle. It can start with what time someone turns on the tap. But time of day is just one part of the story. There's something else, something just as dangerous, and it's something most seniors don't even realize they're skipping. Let's talk about what happens before they even step into the shower. It often gets brushed aside. But in the world of senior safety, this could mean the difference between a refreshing start to the day and a medical emergency. Hydration. Or rather, the lack of it. Let me share something that stuck with me. A daughter once told the story of her mom, early 80s, fiercely independent. She lived alone, still managed most of her routine without help. But one morning, she fainted in the bathroom just minutes after stepping into the shower. Thankfully, she survived. But when they pieced together what had happened, the daughter remembered something her mother said not long before: "I don't like drinking water in the morning. Makes me have to go to the bathroom too soon." That single decision, to skip a glass of water before a shower, nearly cost her her life. Now you might be thinking, how can skipping a glass of water be that dangerous? Let's break it down. As we age, our bodies naturally lose water more easily. And the sensation of thirst becomes duller. So seniors don't always feel thirsty, even when they're dehydrated. It creeps in quietly. But here's the dangerous part. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker. Your blood volume actually goes down. Now picture what happens when a senior with already low blood pressure from sleep steps into a hot shower, without any hydration beforehand. That heat causes blood vessels to expand, just like we talked about. But when there's less blood circulating, and it's thicker than usual, the body can't keep up. The brain doesn't get enough oxygen fast enough. The result? Dizziness. Fainting. Falls. Or even a stroke. All because of something as simple as not drinking a glass of water. And yet, this is one of the most common habits among seniors. They skip water because they don't want to rush to the bathroom. Or they think it's no big deal. Maybe they just forget. But in reality, mild dehydration in an elderly person can rapidly become catastrophic, especially when mixed with heat and early morning blood pressure dips. So, what's the fix? Encourage a glass of water about 30 minutes before showering. Not right before, just enough time to hydrate without triggering urgency. Even a small cup can help stabilize blood pressure, thin the blood slightly, and prepare the body for the warmth of the shower. It's not about chugging down bottles. It's about being intentional, knowing that even a few sips can protect a fragile heart. And again, this isn't about overreacting. It's about being informed, attentive, and giving our elders the safest routines possible. Now, we've covered when they shower. We've talked about what they drink, or don't. But there's another piece of this puzzle. One that happens before the water even runs. Let's talk about what they eat, or don't eat. Because an empty stomach may seem harmless, but for a senior stepping into a hot shower, it's a silent risk most people never think about. It is often overlooked. But it plays a huge role in senior safety, especially in the bathroom. Whether or not they've eaten. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is food really that big of a deal before a shower? Let me tell you about a gentleman in Florida, Mr. Reynolds. He was 81. Lived a quiet, independent life in a senior community. Every morning, he followed the same routine: wake up, take medications, shower, then eat breakfast. Simple. Efficient. Comfortable. But one morning, he skipped breakfast. Said he just wasn't hungry. He stepped into the shower like he always did. Within minutes, he collapsed. When paramedics arrived, they said it was a common case of orthostatic hypotension, a drop in blood pressure from standing up too quickly. But in his case, it was worsened by low blood sugar. And that's something many people forget: your body runs on fuel. And for seniors, that fuel is especially important in the morning. After a full night's sleep, the body is in a naturally fasted state. Glucose, your blood sugar, is at its lowest. And in seniors, who often eat lighter or have irregular eating habits, that low sugar can drop even further. Now combine that with the heat and steam of a shower. Just like we saw with blood pressure and hydration, a hot shower causes the blood vessels to open up. Blood rushes away from the core. And when there's not enough fuel in the tank, the brain doesn't get the energy it needs. That's when dizziness hits. Confusion. Sudden weakness. Sometimes, even unconsciousness. And the thing is, this risk is so easy to miss. Some seniors think, I'll shower quickly, then eat. Or they believe that fasting is better for digestion, or that skipping breakfast helps keep things light in the stomach. But for the elderly, skipping breakfast isn't a healthy habit, it's a dangerous one. Their systems just don't bounce back the way they used to. Even something as innocent as waiting until after the shower can trigger a fall, or worse. So, what can you do? Here's the good news: it doesn't take a full meal. Just a small snack, half a banana, a slice of toast, a few spoonfuls of oatmeal, can be enough to stabilize blood sugar and give their body what it needs. Pair that with a glass of water. Wait 20 to 30 minutes. Then shower. It's a rhythm. A routine. A habit that could save a life. And remember, this isn't about limiting independence. It's about building routines that work with the body, not against it. Now, we've covered timing. We've covered hydration. And we've talked about food. But not every danger lives inside the body. Some risks are all around us, silent, hidden in the bathroom itself. And they can be just as deadly. Let's take a closer look at the environment seniors shower in. Because sometimes, the greatest danger isn't in the water. It's in the room. Let me tell you something that'll hit close to home if you've ever cared for an aging parent or grandparent. Sometimes, it's not what's in their body that puts them at risk, it's the environment around them. Take Mrs. Linda, for example. She was 78. Lived in a cozy little house she'd called home for over 40 years. Independent. Strong-willed. The kind of woman who didn't like asking for help. One morning, she stepped into her bathroom just like she always did. The shower ran hot, steam filled the air quickly. The lights? Fogged up. Dim. She reached for her towel, took a step out. And slipped. Just like that. 1 second, she was fine. The next, she was on the cold, hard floor, unable to move. She'd fractured her hip. Now, here's what many people don't realize: after the age of 65, a hip fracture isn't just a painful injury. It can be life-changing. Even life-threatening. Studies show that seniors who fracture their hips often face long hospital stays. Weeks or months of rehabilitation. And in many cases, they never fully recover their mobility. Some even face permanent loss of independence. And it all started with a slippery tile and dim lighting. Now let's break this down a bit. As we age, our bones naturally lose density. Osteoporosis, arthritis, and even just the wear and tear of time make the body more fragile. A fall that a younger person might walk away from. For a senior, that same fall could cause a pelvic fracture, a head injury, or a spinal compression. And yet, so many bathrooms in elderly homes are underprepared. People install a few grab bars and a rubber mat and think they've done enough. But here's what often gets missed: lighting. If a bathroom doesn't have clear, bright, fog-resistant lighting, visibility drops in seconds once hot water hits the air. Steam builds. Lights dim. Shadows grow. One misplaced step, and they can't see the floor clearly. Then there's the issue of flooring itself. Glossy tile might look nice, but it turns into a hazard the second it's wet. Even with a mat outside the tub, water spreads. And let's not forget about shower curtains that leak, or baths that fog up too quickly, or even bathroom rugs that slide instead of staying put. All of these things may seem small. But together, they create the perfect storm for a devastating fall. So, what can you do? Start simple. Start smart. Install motion sensor lighting, so even if a senior forgets to turn on the switch, the lights will guide them. Use anti-slip tiles or adhesive strips inside and outside the shower. Get a fog-resistant mirror or a ventilation fan to keep the room clear. Place a bench or shower chair for those who can't stand for long. And always make sure towels and bath mats are within easy reach, not across the room. You don't need a total bathroom remodel. You just need thoughtful adjustments. Because when a senior walks into a bathroom, they should feel safe, not at risk. Now let's think about something else. All of these risks we've covered: low blood pressure, dehydration, slippery floors. They're all made worse when a senior lives alone. Because when there's no one nearby, even a minor incident can become a silent crisis. Let's explore what happens when seniors shower without supervision, and why that could be the most dangerous risk of all. Let me share a story that stuck with me for a long time. A caregiver, let's call her Angela, told me about the day her mother went in for her usual morning shower. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just another Wednesday. Angela gave her mom space, wanting to respect her privacy. After all, her mother had always been fiercely independent. She didn't want help dressing or bathing. She'd say, "I can manage just fine." But after 30 minutes, no sound. At 45 minutes, Angela started knocking. When she finally opened the door, steam poured out, and there her mother was, crumpled on the floor. She had slipped, hit her head against the wall, and couldn't move or even reach the call button on the counter. It was a quiet fall. No crash. No cry. No warning. And that's what makes it so scary. You see, as we age, our reaction times slow. Muscles weaken. Bones become brittle. And in those few critical moments after a fall, a senior might not have the strength to call for help, or the breath to yell out. Especially inside a steamy, locked bathroom, it becomes a silent danger zone. And yet, so many people think giving a senior privacy during shower time is the right thing to do. They think, "I don't want to make them feel watched or treated like a child." And I get that. Truly, I do. But let me say this clearly: privacy should never come at the cost of safety. And independence should never mean isolation. The truth is, many seniors don't want to admit they're struggling. They don't want to seem like a burden. So they push themselves to manage routines that might quietly be getting too difficult. The bathroom becomes a place where that struggle hides, until something goes terribly wrong. So how do we protect our loved ones without taking away their dignity? It starts with smart, respectful precautions. First, use a shower timer. Set a visible or audible timer for 15 to 20 minutes. That way, if they're in there too long, you'll know something might be wrong. Second, do verbal check-ins. A simple knock halfway through, "Everything okay in there?" It sounds small, but it can make a huge difference. Third, and this is a big one, invest in a wearable emergency alert button. There are waterproof models designed for the shower. Some even have automatic fall detection that sends a signal without the user pressing anything. And finally, install a bathroom door that unlocks from the outside in case of emergency. It's a simple change with major benefits. Because let me ask you this. If your loved one collapsed behind that door right now, could you get to them in time? These aren't hypothetical scenarios. They're not rare. They happen every single day, often to people who seemed completely fine the day before. And what hurts most is, most of them were preventable. So, as you think about your parent, your spouse, maybe even yourself, don't wait for a scare to make changes. Because shower time shouldn't be feared. It should be safe. It should be routine. It should be peaceful. But for that to happen, we need to be proactive, not reactive. And now that you've seen these risks up close, it's time to talk about what they really mean. Let's take a breath, and lean into the emotional side of this. Because behind every statistic, every fall, every fainting spell, is someone you love. Let's talk about the impact these moments have on families, and how shifting from fear to preparedness can make all the difference. It's hard to wrap your head around, isn't it? That something as routine, as ordinary, as a shower, could be the most dangerous part of a senior's day. But that's the reality for far too many families. And the worst part? Most don't even know until it's already too late. One moment, life feels normal. The next, you're in an ambulance. A hospital waiting room. Making decisions you never saw coming. And you think back to that morning. Wishing you'd asked if they needed help. Wishing you'd just knocked. Wishing you'd known. That's the emotional weight so many carry after a fall, an accident, a moment that turned routine into crisis. But here's the thing I want you to remember. This isn't about guilt. This isn't about blame. It's about awareness. It's about choice. Because now, you know. You know about the timing. You know about hydration. You know what skipping meals can do. You know how much bathroom safety matters. You know the importance of check-ins. Of not assuming silence means everything's okay. And with that knowledge, comes power. Not fear, power. Because when you know the risks, you can start to make changes that actually matter. You don't have to turn your home upside down. You don't have to take over your loved one's every move. You just have to start with one small step. Maybe today it's a simple conversation. Hey mom, do you feel okay showering alone? Hey dad, would you feel better if we added a support bar here? Grandma, can I get you a glass of water before you head in? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be honest. Because that one conversation, just one, could be the difference between a close call and a catastrophe. And here's the beautiful part, these changes you make, they don't take away freedom. They give it. You're helping your loved one live with more confidence. More security. More peace of mind, for them and for you. They don't have to be afraid to take a shower. And neither do you. That's what care really looks like, not just love, but prepared love. Not just hoping for the best, but building for the best. So, breathe. You've got this. You're already doing something powerful by listening, learning, and caring deeply enough to act. Because when it comes to caring for someone in their later years, it's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. And this? This is one of them. You're creating a safer space. You're starting the conversations that matter. And you're showing up for the people you love, exactly when it counts most. So, let's quickly bring it all together. The 5 dangers we talked about today might seem small on their own. But together, they can add up to serious risk, unless we pay attention. Number 1, showering too early in the morning. It might feel like a fresh start to the day, but for older bodies, it can be the riskiest time. Number 2, not drinking water before showering. Something as simple as skipping a glass of water can quietly set the stage for a collapse. Number 3, stepping into the shower on an empty stomach. Low blood sugar plus heat equals danger. Number 4, unsafe bathroom conditions. Slippery floors and dim lighting are accidents waiting to happen. And number 5, showering alone, without check-ins. Independence is important, but safety should never take a back seat. Now let me ask you something from the heart. Have you or someone you love ever had a scary moment in the bathroom? Maybe a close call, maybe something worse. You're not alone. Comment below and share your story. Your experience might help someone else recognize a risk before it's too late. And if this video gave you something to think about, if it made you pause, reflect, or even feel a bit emotional, please tap the like button. It tells us this content matters. And subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips. We post every day with new ways to protect the people you love, understand their needs, and make sure they grow older with safety, dignity, and grace. We don't just talk about care here, we live it. Together. So, thank you, truly. Thank you for showing up today. For taking the time to learn. For choosing to care. For thinking ahead instead of waiting until something goes wrong. You're part of a community now. A community of people who want to love better, plan smarter, and protect the ones who once protected us. So, until next time. Stay wise. Stay safe. And keep loving the ones who matter most. I'll see you in the next video.